Welcome to our final video on triangle congruence. This is going to be the last example that I video. There are 6 more practice problems on the back of this page, and if you would like to try them, go for it and then have me check them in class. I'd be happy to go through your thought process to help you figure out if you have any mistakes. Let's try example 6 here. If you haven't been watching the other example videos, what we start with each time is reading the given and applying it to the picture. So I'm going to start with the given information. We've got side HO is congruent to side OR. HO congruent to OR. I'm putting these tick marks on to represent congruence. We're also told that side HS is congruent to side RS. So that'll be a second set of tick marks. We're asked to prove that the two angles H and R are congruent. But if you check out down below in the 4th step of the proof, first we have to prove that two triangles are congruent. Okay, so let's go through our steps here. Statement 1, side HO is congruent to side OR. That's in the given. The second piece of information that is given is side HS is congruent to side RS. Okay, so those are the two given congruences. When I look at triangle HOS, maybe some highlighting will help. Triangle HOS is on the left. Triangle ROS is on the right. And when I highlight it out, notice that there is a side being shared. That means side OS is a part of both triangles. So it has to be congruent to itself. So side OS is congruent to itself. It's part of both the triangles. That is the reflexive property of congruence. The reflexive property says that any object is congruent to itself. In this case, the object is a line segment. The line segment OS is congruent to itself. Okay, so this should be enough information for us to determine how these two triangles are congruent. The yellow triangle has SSS, side, 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 and the orange triangle also has SSS, or side, side, side. So these two triangles are congruent by SSS congruence. If you're looking back at example 5, these two proofs are almost identical. The pictures are very, very different, but the proofs are almost identical. Okay, step 1, a set of sides is congruent. Step 2, another set of sides is congruent. Step 3, another set of sides is congruent. Step 4, two triangles are congruent by SSS. The difference in example 6 and 5 is that this goes one step further. Now that we know the two triangles are congruent, we can pick out any set of corresponding parts and name them congruent. So take a look at angle H. It's the first angle in the congruent statement, and angle R is the first angle in the congruent statement. So these are corresponding parts. Corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. CPCTC is just an abbreviation for this long postulate that corresponding parts, that's the parts that match up in position, of congruent triangles are congruent. There's not enough room to write all of that in the reason space, so we use just the first letters of the important words there, CPCTC. The corresponding parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Okay, so this will be my last video example. I strongly encourage you to keep practicing. Proofs are tough. If you try the proofs on the back, I'll have my answers uploaded onto Google Classroom so you can check them yourself. And then if you have any questions, just come on over to me and let me know so that I can help you out. I'd be happy to give you some feedback. Happy studying.